Everybody lift up your hands wherever you are, in China, in South Africa, in the United Kingdom, in America. Lift up your hands and wave to the Lord.
Okay.
He's worthy to be praised. He's worthy to be praised. He's worthy to be praised.
Hello everyone, welcome. This is Better Life Moment with Mr. Bossman, and you are live watching us from Hamburg. You are watching us live from Hamburg. You're welcome to the show. This is Better Life Moment with Mr. Bossman, and here we are going to inspire you. We are going to give you the word that will encourage you to build up your life. Life is full of a lot of challenges. Life is full of stress. Life is full of so many things that is going to weigh you down. But the thing is, if you know how to do it and how to live right, if you know what to do at the right time, at the right moment, there is a way out. There is a blueprint. There's a blueprint that you have to follow. There is a way that you need to do some things. And these are the things that you need. These are the tools that will help you to build up that good life that you dream of. And the Bible and the Quran and all the scriptures are full of wonderful things to inspire you. But the question is, are you being inspired? Are you being motivated? Are you getting encouraged to do that thing for you? Or you are following somebody's footsteps? Are you doing somebody's dream, or you are doing your dream? That is why this program has been scheduled to come your way today, Monday, to inspire you to know that you can do it. You can do it. You have what it takes to do it. You have what it takes to be successful. You have what it takes to get money. You have what it takes to live a good life. My sister, my brother, my mother, my father, wherever you are listening from, you must not wait until you get to heaven before you live the better life. You can live the better life here. Jesus said something the other day. He said that the words that I'm speaking to you, it can make you worthy and whole here and also life after here. So we are supposed to be glorious in this life and in the life after here. We are not supposed to live in abject poverty. We are not supposed to live in struggle and die and go and enjoy the good life. It's a misconception somebody has given you. It's a misconception that somebody has fed you with. That is not the plan of God. So Better Life Moment, today I am here to give you words that will help you, that will encourage you, that will let you know that you have what it takes to live the good life. Today I'm here to talk to you about your mind. I'm here to talk to you today about thinking and how to think right. How to think right. I'm here to talk to you about thinking and how to think right. You see, thinking is all that you need. The first thing that will start your success journey, that will put you on the scale for you to live the better life, is your thinking, it's your mind. Your mindset is everything. That's why the Bible says that as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. So today I'm here to talk to you about thinking, about the power of positive thinking. If you have a pen and a paper, if you are in the train and you want to write on your phone, that is okay. But I'm here to inspire you with the word, and that is a topic I've entitled positive thinking. Positive thinking. You see, everything you have and everything you are, wherever you are right now, is because of your thinking. If you are living in struggle, it's because of your thinking. If you are living in success, it's because of your thinking. God cannot surpass your thinking to do anything for you. Satan cannot surpass your thinking to do anything for you. No demon, no angel can surpass your thinking to do anything for you. Let me tell you a story. The other day, a preacher was sleeping, and he had a revelation by God. And in the revelation, he saw something like a tree, like a mango tree. And he saw a bird standing on the tree. And the bird was trying to do some things on the fruit on the tree. And in the revelation, God told him that the tree and the fruit you saw on the tree is your mind. The enemy is trying to eat on your mind. So do something about your thinking. He woke up from the dream and he realized that it is very true. That is why the Bible says in the book of Psalm, he said that do not sit in the council of the scornful. Everything you are and everything you will ever be is from your thinking. If you think right, you will live right. Let me ask you a question, and I know that this is so true with everyone. Let me ask you something. Do you realize that there are some things that you have gotten in your life that you did not pray about? There are some things in your life right now as we speak. You did not pray about them, but you have them. I'm not saying it's because you can do it. I'm not denying the power of God. I'm not denying the power of nature. But I want you to know that there are some things that you have, and there are some places that you have been to that you did not necessarily pray about them. The fact that you are thinking right is more than enough to bring some positive things into your life. If you think right and you don't pray, good things will come your way. How much more if you pray? So if you think right and you pray, you are up there. But we see a lot of prayerful people struggling in life. And you know why? It's because they don't have the right thinking. Some people gathered to pray for rain. And when they were going, this is a popular story. You have heard it somewhere before. When they were going, everybody was carrying whatever he can carry except umbrella. And they are going to pray for rain. So you see that they are going there because of religion. Because if I don't go, I will look bad. If I don't go, people will talk. So they are going. But in their mind and in their thinking, it's not possible that it's going to rain. What do you want to see in your life? You want a good marriage. But in your mind, you are thinking you are not in the same rhythm with your husband. You see, life is like energy. The Holy Spirit, the angels, the demons, they are all like energy. Like your phone. When you take up the phone, you don't see the radiation coming. But you realize that you take the phone and then you begin to talk. And then you can communicate on the phone with another person. My question to you is, where from the wave, where from that thing, where from that magic which is coming into the phone, where from that magic? It's energy which is coming into the phone. So is our life. We are people of energy. We were built with the energy of God. That is why the Bible said that when God has created man, he breathed into the nostrils of man. That is the divine energy he gave to man. So whatever you think in this life, whether good or bad, will happen to you. It does not matter whether you are prayerful or you are not prayerful. Prayer is wonderful. Prayer is wonderful. I cannot be sitting here today if I didn't pray. And my life has been a life of blessing because I pray. I believe in the power of prayer. But the thing is that no matter who you are, if you don't pray, if you don't think right, you can forget it. You can pray 48 hours. You can pray for 2 hours, 24 hours. If you don't think right, you can forget. So it's so important to think right. Whatever you think in this life, you are going to get it. And you may be asking me right now, okay, Mr. Bossman, it's enough. I know, and I agree with you that I have to think right. But what can I do? What is it that I can do so that I begin to think right? Before you can know what to do, one thing that you have to know is, why are you not thinking right? You see, you are not thinking right, and your mindset and your thinking has been corrupted because of the people you have been associated with. All the people you have associated with, they are people who think of defeat. They are people who think of failure. I remember several years ago when I was growing up, I told my mom that if I grow, I want to become like Daddy Lumba. Those in Ghana, you know him. I wasn't saying I want to become like him because of singing. Because from my childhood, I know singing is not my thing. But when I look at his fame and his popularity and all the things, the wonderful things like the fame and the money and all the good things in his life, I said, I want to get this thing. I want to be like this guy. And what my mom told me was that these people were given special gifts by God. And then I asked my mom, so can't I be like these people? And she said no. Because they have a special blessing from God. This is the mindset of a certain class of people. Maybe where you grew up, there is this mindset there. You see people and you think they have gone for money rituals. To you, every famous person is corrupt. To you, you need to be an occultist before you can get to a certain level in life. And you are not ready to sacrifice your son, so therefore you are not going to go up there. This thinking has been programmed into you by someone. When a child is born, the mind of that child is empty. In psychology, we call it tabula rasa. Every child has an empty mind, like a slate, like a board with nothing written on. But as you were growing up, you pick a certain things from your community. And one of the main things you are going to pick is the thinking of the people around you. So if you are not thinking right, it's because you have picked up some negative signal, some negative energy, some negative thinking from where you are. That is why you don't think right. And when we talk about some of these things, you try to do it and then you realize that it looks like it's not possible to you. But I want you to know that it is possible for you to think right. The first thing you are going to do if you want to think right is to dissociate yourself from people who think of failure, people who think of impossibilities. You see, your life can take on a new dimension if your thinking will get right. And since thinking is so good and so important for your upgoing, what you are going to do is to dissociate yourself from anybody who is not thinking right. Cut them off. Push them away. Cut them off. If you don't take them off your life, if you don't take them off the radio, you cannot think right. When you are talking positive, they will be talking negative. When you are thinking of success, they will be thinking of failure. Take them off. Pick them away from your life in order for you to think right. That's the first thing you are going to do. Anybody with negativity, cut them off. You may be asking me, how can I cut them off? Maybe he's your husband, maybe he's your wife. You are not ready to divorce, and I'm not even encouraging you to divorce. But you see, you can cut people off. You can cut them off. You will be with them, but know where to relate with them. If I'm into politics and my wife is not into politics, why should I talk to her about politics? You see, that if I talk to her about politics, that will cut my interest in the thing. But maybe to me, that is what is going to take me to the next level of my life. So the best I can do is to cut the communication about politics. If you are an entrepreneur, if you are a big thinker, and you realize that the lovely people around you, the people you love, they are negative thinkers, the first thing you can do is to relate to them on their level by talking to them and dealing with them in things that they are interested in. Talk to them about the things that they love. Talk to them and relate with them with movies and with that and with that, with the facial things that they are interested in. Forget about your positive thinking and your positive confession when you are around them. Make sure you allow nothing they say to get close to you. Protect your heart. You see, the Bible even tells us in the book of Proverbs chapter 4 verse 20, reading downwards. He said that guide your heart with all diligence, because out of it are the issues of life. If those people who are close to you that you cannot do away with, they are negative, what you have to do is to protect your heart. Don't let their negativity get into you. That's the first thing you are going to do, to cut people off. If it's a friend, if it is somebody that you can do away with, don't see the person often. Stay away as much as you can from the person if you want to think right. Because look, in the end, when you are dying and you're on your deathbed, and all the things that you could do, if your life will flash before you, the problem will not be whether to die or not to die, but the problem will be what you regret of. There are some of you who are powerful footballers, and I ask you today, where did your football take you? Where did you take football? And you don't even know. There are some of you listening to me today who are mighty in some things. Maybe this show I'm doing, you can do better than this. But let me ask you, what is your education or anything you could do? Where have it taken you? Nowhere. Do you know why? Because you talk to the wrong people. You think with the wrong people. That's why I'm asking you today. If you want to go forward into the future and you are surrounded by negative thinking people and you want to think right, cut those people off. It will not kill you. It's better for the friendship to die than for your dream to die. Because if you don't live for your dream, you will live for the dream of other people. You will live an unhappy and unfulfilled life. And at the point of death, you will be full of regrets. The second thing you are going to do that is going to help you so powerfully is for you to try and get yourself into learning. And that is one area I find so interesting, and so I find it so funny, and so I don't know the words to use, but I'm surprised at the rate at which people refuse to learn. I've heard a lot of preachers, a lot of preachers. Sometimes I'm not able to even listen to them. It's not because they don't have the Spirit of God. They have the Spirit of God, but you realize that the things they are saying, they have not even taken the time to learn about it. One popular thing you hear every preacher talking about is don't drink alcohol, don't fornicate, don't do this, don't do that, don't do this. The do's and don'ts in the gospel is all that they will talk about, because that is what they heard their leaders teaching about. And because they didn't learn their Bible, they will stand on the pulpit and they will just repeat. Maybe you want to go into business, and because your boss was a failure in his or her business, you got an information from him that this business is difficult. And you are not learning anything, so all you are thinking and talking about is the difficulty of the thing. But let me tell you something. In this coronavirus season, the boss of Amazon has amounted wealth more than any other person. I have personally benefited a lot from coronavirus. So there is nothing in this life which is bad. You see, you will think it is bad because somebody told you. But the question is, did you study it? The thing I find so interesting, like I'm saying, is education. How that people just refuse to learn. And last time I was talking to a lady and she told me that, Mr. Bossman, I'm not somebody who likes to read. And I asked her, who is telling you to read? Because we are in information age and people are so busy. You are working 12 hours a day. How can you read? You will sleep, even with the book in your hand. So I'm not asking you to read. Then she said, what can I do? Because I cannot read. I don't have the appetite to read. I'm lazy. I said, yes. But do you have YouTube? Then she said, yes. I said, do you watch YouTube? She said, yes. I said, okay, so what do you watch? And she said, I watch all the social issues. I said, yes, that's why they will go forward and your life will be the same. You are listening every day about Bishop Obinim. Don't forget, whether he is right or fake, he has more money than you. You are listening from Kwakumenu every day. I'm not saying don't listen. I do listen, so I'm not saying you don't listen. I'll be a hypocrite to tell you not to. But what are you learning from YouTube? Do you know that you can even learn a difficult subject like video editing from YouTube? Just by YouTube. Do you know you can even learn how to make a wig, how to make a hairstyle, how to make makeup? You can even learn how to drive a car on YouTube. But only you, when you go on YouTube, the only thing you listen and you hear and you watch is all the negativity in the world. That is why you cannot think right. So going into the future, if you want to think right, if you want to change the way you think, then you have to change the things you learn. You have to change the things you watch. There is something that you don't know. The day the Ethiopian airline came down and hundreds of people died, that same day, a lot of airlines got to their destination. But CNN made it to look that everyone is going to die in a plane crash. You live in Germany, one person went to Behodi and didn't get a visa and was deported to Ghana or in Africa. Because of that, you think that if you go to Behold, you are going to be deported. But let me tell you something. Hundreds of people went to Behold. Only one person got deported. And you are building your energy on the person who got deported, refusing to look at the positive side. You know why? It's because you are looking at the wrong stuff. The other day when God met Abraham, he said that look into the sky and look at the stars. He did not tell Abraham to look at the trees, the mango tree and the guava. He told him, look into the sky and look at the stars. What are you looking at? Are you looking at the stars? Or you are looking at the trees and all the negative things? Get yourself something. Begin to learn something. Begin to learn something. Because if you don't learn, your mindset will remain adamant and dull. And your life will be stationary. Nothing will improve. Learn something. We are in the information age. If you cannot read, you can listen. If you cannot listen, you can watch. If you cannot watch, there is something that you can do. Learn. Just learn. It will change your thinking. It will change the way you look at things. It will change everything about you, because you begin to get the right mindset from the right informations that you'll be getting. And now that you are taking these things and you are going to do them, one thing that you can do, the third thing I'm giving you that you can do, is your confession. This is also another thing. When I see in other people from different religion, I'm okay. But when I see Christians do it, I'm surprised. And actually, it is Christians who do this third thing I'm going to talk about the most. Your confession. Don't confess your fears. You see, we are all afraid of one thing or the other. Next week, I'm going to talk to you about how to face your fears. And you realize that we are all afraid of one thing or the other. I am personally afraid of heights. When you take me up into a tall story building, I'm scared. I get scared. I freak out. Everyone in this life is afraid of something. But what are you going to confess? Are you going to confess your fear or your faith? Are you going to confess your failures or your success? I remember recently I was taking pictures in a garden, and I met one guy, and we spoke, and he asked me a lot about my camera work and everything. And the guy, you can see that the guy is really inclined in photography. And when I look at him and I look at me, I'm like, gee, this guy knows a lot. At the end of the conversation, he asked me, so can you give me some beautiful shots? In my heart, I was afraid because he knows everything. So I'm not so much into this thing. Am I at his level? In my heart, I was afraid. It's normal to be afraid. But you know what? I kept my faith and I confessed positive. I told him, yes, I can give you some powerful shots. You are going to love it. And you know the secret? My computer I'm going to use to do the post-production is crashed. So which computer am I going to use to do the editing? If it's you, maybe you're going to say, no, I'll not do this. But I'll not let that job go by. I'll take it. I told him, yes, I can do a good job for you. But you know what? After the work, if you don't like the job I will do for you, bring it back for your money. Can we make that deal? He said, yes. I said, okay, then let's go. I took the pictures. I edited with my phone. Just my phone, not a computer, with my phone. I took the work to him, and today he wrote me an email that he's really happy with the work. What are you going to confess? There are so many reasons to be afraid. So many reasons to be afraid. Because somebody has been shot. Because this is happening. Because that is happening. There is a reason to be afraid. In this season, I don't know if there is going to be a season like this. I pray no season like this comes. But there has been so much death before our eyes that we have ever seen. There is a reason to be afraid that maybe you are going to die. But will you confess your fear or you confess your faith? God told Joshua in the book of Joshua chapter 1 verse 8. He said that do not let this book of the law depart from your mouth, but thou shalt meditate it day and night. You see, If you let the positive words depart from your mouth, you cannot meditate on it. If you let the positive words from your mouth depart and it be filled with negative, you cannot meditate upon good things. Maybe you have changed you want to change your thinking. You are associating with the right people. Maybe you are learning the right materials. But there are so many failures in your life and so many fears and so many reasons to be afraid, legitimate reasons to be afraid. But if you confess negative, you cannot concentrate on the positive. That's why I said that I'm surprised when Christians confess negative. Why will you do that? You want to go up. All you can say every day is the things that will bring you down. But when you see people up there, you are happy for them. You are jealous about them. But for you to confess positive, never. Why will your life go up? My brother, my sister, I'm not judging you. I want to push you to think positive. I want you to know that if you don't change the words from your mouth, your life will follow through. Do you realize that there are some people who became sickless just because of the words of their confession? I'm not the strongest. There are so many things that I cannot do in this life. I don't know how to play football. I don't know how to do this. I don't know how to do that. I've never been a sports guy. But growing up and looking at my life, how it was full of failures, like one failure to other, one failure to other. There was a time I even told myself that as for this month, I have not been sick. And the next day I was sick. There was a moment in my life where every month I was sick for 1 week. So 3 weeks was for health, and the next week was for sickness. And it actually got me interested to learn more about the human body and medicine and all those stuff. But I realized that since 2006, I gave my life to Christ. And then after being born again, I realized that the way I was brought up in terms of thinking is not right. They will tell you in Ghana, as for us, we are humble people. It's good to be humble. By being humble does not mean talking negative. So I decided to change the way I talk. And even when I'm sick, I don't use the word I'm sick. I say I am physically challenged. And as I began changing the way I talk, my life began following through. And although, there has been times I've been sick, and I'm not saying being sick is bad, but the frequency at which you will be sick and you will be facing financial difficulties, bank corrupt, and child sick, and that, it's enough. Change the way you talk. When they went to inspect the promised land, they told Moses that we saw them as, when we stood before them, we saw ourselves like bread for them. It was only Caleb who said that the giants were bread for them. What do you see? What do you confess? You are going to see a lot of fear. You can pray for 48 hours. Fear will still come. There's a reason to be afraid. Prayer will not solve that. But when you see those things, what will be your confession? Will you rely on your God and on your own self? Or you rely on the things that is scaring you? I urge you today to confess positive. Rely only on faith and confess positive. It will change the way you do your thing. And the last thing I want to leave you with before I end this show is to believe in yourself. Believe in yourself. As Africans, one thing we have no problem about is believing in God. But believing in God is not enough. Because God is not coming down to do anything for you. God is only going to use you to do that thing for you. God is going to use that brother. God is going to use that sister. God is going to use that family member to be a blessing to you. So if you don't believe in yourself, you cannot think right. If you don't believe in your own abilities, how can you even think right in the first place? Because as for you, you think that you are not good enough. You just think that you are not there. There is a guy I know, Joe Duncan. This guy is a cancer patient, and he doesn't do sports, he doesn't do this, he doesn't do that. There are so many things this guy cannot do. There is only one thing he can do, and that is talking and writing. So maybe two things. Do you know that this guy is a millionaire? As I speak to you, this guy is a millionaire. As I speak to you right now, this guy is a millionaire. Just by talking and by writing. That is what I'm talking about. He believed in the things that he can do. He believed in those things. And since the belief was there, the energy also came. How do you believe in your own self? It's not enough to believe in God. Because if believing in God was enough, I think Africa will be the richest continent. Why are we poor? Because one of the reasons why we cannot think positive is that we don't believe in our own self. You are thinking positive until you meet a white guy. Then you begin to feel useless. You are thinking positive until you meet a rich guy. And because there's no money in your pocket, you begin to feel foolish. You are talking right until you meet somebody who knows more than you. Then you begin to think wrong. You will think any way you can think as long as positivity comes. Until you meet someone who is better than you. On the surface, the person may look better than you. I remember, let me tell you one last story before I bring this hour to an end. I was with a guy, and this guy was so much loaded, and he knows. He's a man of knowledge and wisdom, and he knows what he's doing. And after several years, I was dealing with him day in and day out. And one day he told me something. I feel so heavily. He gave me an assignment. He was my boss. He gave me an assignment, and I feel so big. And when I approached him, he told me that, Bossman, I'm disappointed in you. I said, why? Because I had a legitimate reason to fail. But one thing he told me that changed my thinking from that day. He told me that, look, when you showed up in this company, I was scared I was going to lose my job to you. Because you had so much energy in you that I was scared of you. I'm your boss, but I was scared of you. So what happened to you? And this is a guy, no matter how the presentation I would do, when this guy shows up there, I begin to feel intimidated. But in his heart, he was scared of me. That I didn't know. He was teaching me how to do presentation. And I was even scared and feeling intimidated when he was there to speak. And this guy in his heart was scared of me. And I didn't know. I was not in a competition with him. And I'm not asking you to be in competition with anyone. But maybe, just maybe, that person who makes you feel small is even afraid of your abilities. Just believe in yourself. Believe you can and you will. Believe you can't and you will not. It's simple as that. Believe you can and you will. Believe you can't and you will not. Stay blessed. And wherever you are, I want you to know that it is possible if you will change the way you think. We are going to meet again next week. I'm going to talk to you about why you can face your fears. I know there are so many reasons to be afraid in this life. And don't judge yourself. Don't condemn yourself if you are afraid of some things. But my brother, my sister, I want you to know that it is possible. It is more than possible to think positive. It's more than possible to get your life to the stage you want. It's more than possible to achieve that thing. Don't look at your surroundings. All the rich people you see, they started from somewhere. Start today. The Americans will tell you, fake it until you make it. Fake it until you make it. Even if you cannot do it, say you can do. I remember as a student nurse, when I was practicing at Efiankwanta Regional Hospital, when you go to the ward, you don't know how to give injection. You have learned in the book how to give the injection. But you cannot give the injection because you have not done before. The nurses will ask you, do you know how to give injection? And then you ask yourself, sister, if you don't allow me to give the injection, how can I give it? But do you know something? We always told them, yes. If they ask you, Bossman, can you give the injection? The answer was yes. When we are given the chance to give it, then they realize that we are not good enough. They don't want to disgrace themselves before the patient, so they will teach you. And that was the trick. Do you want to start something? Do you want to do something? Start where you are, and you can do it.
There's no one like you, Jesus. There's no one like you.
So we meet again. It's Mr. Bossman on Better Life. And I urge you to tune into this program every day. You can follow me on all social media platforms. The name is Mr. Bossman. And I put up encouraging words every day to inspire you and to motivate you. Just tune in to Radio Africa, Germany, every Monday at this time. Let's get motivated. Let's get the job done. Stay blessed till we meet again. It's bye-bye.
Awesome is your name.